Hi, I'm Jodi, and I'm here with Rajat from HyLyt. How are you this morning?
Hi, Jody. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, thank you. So your product's going to launch here in a few days on Rebel Alliance, and we're pretty excited about that. You want to tell us a little bit about your product?
Yes, of course. I'm excited to finally launch in the United States with the help of you guys and Rebel Alliance. So, HyLyt is a unified information management and business collaboration solution rolled into one. So, it has a couple of angles to it. So, one way to look at it, it is multiple products in one. So, on a single product, you can do video meetings, you can do note taking, file management, cloud storage, scheduling, task management, even collaboration, chats, messaging. Everything happens on one single integrated platform. Difficult to imagine, right? But
Right, so it's
that,
6 apps in one.
yeah, you got it. That's the power of HyLyt. But the bigger value proposition is not only 6 apps in one, but HyLyt can sit on top of all the current products which you're using today and become the single source for all your information management from all these different products which you're using today.
Okay, so
Unlimited
explain
products.
to us how that works.
So essentially, digitization has brought a lot of advantage for all of us as individual users or business people. But it also brought a big challenge. We end up with multiple data silos or multiple places where we have information residing. It could be our emails, it could be the chat platforms, it could be the browser windows, it could be ERP, CRMs, you name it. There's information everywhere. But we all know everything is not important. Some of it is transient, as we call it. Now, the huge challenge is how do you filter through all that information to manage that information which really matters and which drives your business and your life? That's a huge
Right.
challenge, and that's what HyLyt looks to solve for you.
So when you mentioned that it sits on top of the other apps, it can um, get information from all of those different places.
Absolutely. So the default version is user triggered because we are GDPR compliant. So it's based on user triggered action to get any information from any platform onto HyLyt. But if the user wants, this can be automated through APIs. So as a result, information can flow directly, automatically from the user's selective products onto HyLyt based on whatever parameters they decide.
Okay, so and for those of us that are end users, a data silo is just a group of information like stuff you'd have in Dropbox or in your email would be email content or whatever.
Absolutely. So any information sitting on any product, which could be a cloud storage, your email box, chat, which could be Teams, Slack, WhatsApp, any such platform,
Okay.
even information you have in your task list or on your calendars. It's
So it
all
doesn't
information.
necessarily have to be stored in your computer. It can be just or your phone.
I'm
It can
sorry.
just be any. So it doesn't have to be information that's
No,
just
it
stored in
doesn't
your
be stored.
right.
So it could be on a platform. It could be stored with you. Anything goes. Ultimately, it's all information which matters to you and is useful to you.
Great. So tell us how we use that.
Okay, so let me just give you first a little more detailed introduction of how HyLyt actually helps and how it works. So, HyLyt is, like I mentioned, multiple products in one. And as a result, so this, if you see on your screen, it's a very interesting flow of how the product, what the product is all about. So it shows that 6 different product functions go into HyLyt as one product, and from there it does 5 different things. Whether it is controlling how your information flows, managing all the information, saving all the information, sharing it with other stakeholders, or even searching it. So, all these things can be done on one centralized product. So you, as a result, once your information is on HyLyt, you don't need to go back looking for it at different places, or all have that stress that, oh shoot, where is that piece of information which was very important for me. So one of the biggest challenges today is we have multiple places where we read or receive relevant information. It could, like I mentioned earlier, it could be emails, chat boxes, collaboration platforms, your cloud storage, reminders, calendars, ERP, CRM, accounting softwares. There's information literally at unlimited number of places. Now, the information which matters for you out of all these places, how do you really get and manage that information? That's the big problem HyLyt solves. And we give you a easy user-triggered button to get that information from all these platforms onto HyLyt. Okay.
And one of the things that I noticed on here, I think your 6th branch is video, right?
Absolutely. So I'm sorry, Jodi, you're saying something.
Oh, the other branch on there is video.
Absolutely, we video conference. So on HyLyt, you can do video calls as well. So imagine the convenience that, let's say you are running an office where now currently people are working from home. So having your team work on 6 different products when they're working from home, having to train them, manage those multiple products, and also be concerned about the security of your business data. Having it all on one platform makes your life so much easier, because you only need to manage and control one platform rather than multiple platforms. So that's
right. And one of the things that you and I had talked about before was that security was one of the reasons that you actually got into developing this app. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, it's a very interesting story how this came about. So I was running a couple of other businesses, and I was in a conference, and some information popped up on my screen, and I swiped it, and thinking that I'll come back and find it later. Next day, once I was back at office, I spent half a day trying to find that piece of information, and to no luck.
Wow.
I lost a huge business opportunity, because information has only one way. It only goes up. And what you read today, you may not find it tomorrow unless you organize it. And with numerous social media channels, all the feeds, it's a nightmare managing it. How, the information really matters. So obviously, I'm sure there could have been better options to manage it. But I take a little pride in being fairly knowledgeable about technology. I've been in technology space for about 35 years now. I've done coding back in the day when computers were huge pieces, and BASIC and COBOL and DB3 were the languages. So it's evolved a huge, big time from now. But the challenge was, yeah, please. Sorry.
Go ahead. So basically, that email that comes in, or a file that somebody sends you when you're even out on your phone or anything, you can take and save that and name and tag it in HyLyt, so that when you go back, you can search for it again. And even if it gets deleted off your email or somewhere else, it's still there. Okay.
Absolutely. Once something is on HyLyt, even if the original information source and location gets deleted, your information is secure. So so once it reaches HyLyt, you do not need to worry about the source, and you can organize it and by tagging. Currently, the other challenge we have, besides information at multiple places, if you decide to get it save information, your only options of saving information today is creating a file in a folder on a drive, right? Now the drive can be local or cloud, and
Right.
the folder structure can be, it's a subfolder of a folder to create your tree structure, but ultimately it's a linear connect. So on HyLyt, we changed that and we've converted it into a matrix. So every piece of information, besides being connected to a folder, can be connected to multiple other pieces of information across different folders. So we help you create a web of all your information interconnected on multiple parameters.
So
Now,
for my purposes, then I could take, say, a blog article that I've written and a picture that a VA has and keywords that somebody that was helping me with SEO had, and I could tag all of those together. And I know a lot of people would have a lot of different uses, but I don't know their use. So, but later
absolutely.
I could go back and do a keyword search for potty training, and I could have my picture, my video, my blog article, and everything all together there.
Absolutely, you got it absolutely right. Let me just extend that a little further. So, like I said, HyLyt is multiple platforms in one. So you could be having a chat conversation. You can connect it to a text note, which could probably minutes of meeting or points of discussion, and you can connect that to maybe a reminder, which could be for a follow-up meeting or follow-up call. You can connect it to a calendar, which could be for the next meeting. You can connect it to a URL, which could be a website which gives any kind of information or research data. You can further connect that to maybe a video file or maybe a PDF file as well. So there is no limit how many pieces of information you can connect, and all these informations can be in different folders. So you are no longer connecting informations only to folders. So that's the big disruption or the change which is happening here.
So what if I have, and I've actually had an bad experience before. I had a VA that tried to steal my Facebook page, which wouldn't exactly apply here. But if they were trying to do damage, they could also, take all my keyword research and my articles and my, pictures, and basically take my work and put it on another site. How does HyLyt keep that secure?
Okay, so HyLyt has obviously a lot of security things in place. So for one, we have the standard 256-bit encryption, which everyone offers. We have that as well. But then we have a couple of interesting things. Firstly, for businesses and companies, the entire HyLyt data can be hosted on the user's server of choice. So your information is not sitting on someone else's server in some other obscure location. It is exactly where you want it to be. That's the first one. Secondly, on HyLyt, we have given some interesting options which let you control how your data can be used. Now, there's a huge challenge. If I can just elaborate on that for 2-3 minutes. Now, currently, thank you. So currently, when you send any information to me, Jodi, so you'll probably send it on email or any messaging platform, right?
Correct.
Now, once I read or receive it on my devices, that information would sit in my media gallery or download folder or some such location. And anybody having access to my device would have access to that information. Now, on HyLyt, we've made sure there's local encryption at the device level as well. And we make sure that anything which is on HyLyt is not viewable in any media gallery or download folder. So as a result, unless I have access to your HyLyt account, which is obviously secured by multi-level pins, I have no way of accessing your information, even if I have access to your device. So let's say you lost your phone, or let's say a colleague of yours decide to take a peek at your phone. They cannot know what information you have there if it's on HyLyt. Now
because they'd have to be able to log in and use some sort of identification to the app in addition to the phone being unlocked. Okay. So what about? Go ahead.
Yeah. So HyLyt has its own multi-level security. So you can have a 6-digit PIN or a fingerprint or even a Face ID. So as a result, unless the user has the person having access to your device, unless they know these details, they cannot have access to your information. So that's our first step on data leakage control. Now, interestingly, we have another option there. So let's say you had to send me any information today, right? So the only options again for sending me information would be email or any messaging platform. And once you send it to me, you have little or no control over it. And I, as the recipient, become the owner of that information. And I'm free to forward and share that information with anyone I please. Right? Can you stop
Right.
me?
No, no.
Yeah. Well, on HyLyt, we give you a way you can stop me. So you, as the person sending me information, can stop me from forwarding and sharing that information with anyone. So you decide whether how that information can be used at all. If not,
So you send it from within the app, and then the recipient can, if you let them, they can share it, but if you don't, they can't.
absolutely, you got it.
And does that come from your native email, like you set your Gmail account up in HyLyt, or is that a special email?
Well, you see, the native Gmail or any email, those are just the sources which send the information in. The control on the information happens once the information is on HyLyt. The control will
Okay,
not work on your direct email account.
Okay, so I could send it from within HyLyt, and that would be what would allow the control. Okay.
Yeah. So, remember when I said in the beginning, the information needs to come into HyLyt. The information can come into HyLyt from
Right.
unlimited options. So once it reaches inside HyLyt, so then within HyLyt, we help you create a secured workspace for all your stakeholders. So when you share information there, you can control that, what they do with that information.
So you can keep them from sharing it. You can keep them, if I read right, pretty soon from even being able to screenshot it.
Absolutely. So you cannot do a copy paste. On Android, no screenshots. On iOS, the screenshot gets reported. So we covered all the bases as much as possible.
Okay. So this is a really good solution for companies that are having employees that are working from home that are having to share documents since they're not in the office and they're not using them on a secured platform or VPN or whatever. And even if they are, they could still be forwarded and shared.
Absolutely. And work from home is definitely a very good place to use it. But also there are a lot of businesses which work with a lot of people in a distributed environment, which means multi-location offices, multiple people on the field, as they say, feet on the field. So it could be some sales guys on the field, it could be service teams on the field, it could be project teams at sites, or numerous small.
So you could support. So you could support contract data and information that maybe is you mentioned sales, and it made me think of that of somebody that was in sales in the field or something, but yet they wouldn't be able to take that data and use it to go to work for a competitor or anything like that.
That's the idea. Because
Okay.
interestingly, yes, you reminded me of another feature we have on HyLyt. So the other big challenge is when a person changes jobs, a lot of times a lot of data goes with them. Now there could be two possible problems here. One, the employee walks away with data, and second, that the business many times may not have the entire data. So there are two problems happening here. So with HyLyt, the business admin can instantly, remotely remove all data from any particular employee or user's account and device without even needing to have access to the device. They can remove it.
That's nice.
Result, yeah. So as a result, the employee who thought he's walking away with business data, if they are using HyLyt, will not actually have the data, and the business retains the data with them. So they are not losing any of their IP created or any of their KPIs, etc., because of one person changing job.
So does that data go back to the company under a folder so they know where it came from, or how does that work on the back end?
Well, so all the data is pegged to a particular user. So now the other challenge which many businesses have obviously one user goes, another will come in. Now,
Right.
when a new user comes in, it's always a huge cost to the business. Now, the cost can be broken down into two parts. One would be the known finite cost of the headhunter, but there's a bigger and a non-finite cost, which is the gaps in the information for the new user to get on board and to become completely efficient. So that's where HyLyt plays a big role, because all this data of the old user can be transferred in less than 5 minutes from the old user to the new user, lock, stock, and barrel from day one.
So
So,
is there
yeah.
a method, and I haven't asked him this ahead of time, so I don't really know. I might be asking you something that's not possible, but can then the admin of somebody that's gone or has been let go, could I go through and go through the data and see what was there and see if they were doing some things that they shouldn't have been doing before I then pass along that data?
Okay, so yeah, well, currently the way we are structured, we do not give admin the access to the data, because in many businesses, the admin may not be the owner of the business. So I'm sure the owner would not want the admin looking uh, at the data, you know. So,
Okay.
uh, so there are some protocols there, and some steps which can be done so that the data can be given to specified people, and then they can look at it. Basically, some checks to make sure that the admin doesn't end up seeing the data, because if the admin decides to change jobs, we don't want the business data going with the admin.
Okay, so there's actually an excellent oversight then, so it would have to go through at least a couple of steps so that then the owner would be the owner of the the information,
Absolutely.
would be able to say who could look at it and who would not. Okay.
Yes.
So you've already been serving customers with HyLyt. What kind of feedback are you getting? What kind of benefits are they saying that they're getting? Have they had any of these situations that, um, that would be really tough, especially now with all the remote working, to say recover some data and some things like that?
Well, people are loving what we are doing. The most common question I get asked is, how did you even think of this? You are a lifesaver, you know. Did you like know I'm having all these problems? So because it seems this is the problem everyone is facing, because no doubt there are a lot of products out there and doing a great job, but I think the challenge for most people is that every product is solving a part of the problem, which they're doing a very good job at it.
I'm
But
having a little.
yeah, I think it's reached a point where people are getting overwhelmed dealing with too many products. So, and then it's not easy for people to manage all this information from different places, because it's overwhelming. So, like those are the things where people are really liking what we are doing, because they feel more in control. We say that people feel that when they get empowered, that the information is in on their fingertips. They can interconnect it the way they want, so they know what is connected to this. So they don't need to put pressure on their brains, or on their memory to think of, oh, I got this, there was something else similar, where is that, what is that, so that all those things are getting eased out. In fact, there was a very interesting thought that you should, if people start writing down what's on their mind, it really relaxes you and eases you out mentally, because then you don't need to keep thinking, am I forgetting something? It's the same thing what HyLyt is helping with, because today you're all the time you're under the pressure. Where is the information? Which platform can I find it? Will I find it? Etc. That now the moment it's all easily and instantly available, then you don't have that pressure.
So basically, this is like you've got your messaging, you can email from it. It's kind of like a Microsoft Teams, but it's secured with inside the app. And there's a mobile app there's a desktop app, right?
Yes, you got it. We are on Android, Apple, iOS, and on the desktops. So we are like the go-to product. And of course, you can use HyLyt on multiple devices simultaneously. So anything you do on any one device will show up on the other. So, you can use it on 5 devices simultaneously.
Okay, so I can put it on my phone, my iPad, my MacBook, and on a PC. It doesn't matter that they're, to Apple and a Microsoft using PC product.
Sure. So, the example I like to use, let's say you have a really crazy day at work. You're working on your office PC, you finish working, you walk out, you continue working on your mobile phone till you reach your car. Let's say you're lucky to have a chauffeur driven car. The chauffeur's driving.
I'd
And
like that.
yeah, so the chauffeur's driving, and you could be working on your tablet, reach home, have dinner, spend time with family. Then you can continue working on your home laptop. So, the experience is really seamless because the beauty is, not about having that you can work across multiple devices, but the thing is, all the functions work in tandem on a single platform across all devices. So you're never really guessing that what you did on which platform.
So it's really going to just be there when I open HyLyt. It will update from wherever I was working on last, and it'll all be
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So then
and that's all 6 apps in one in that app.
Yes.
Everything's in there.
Everything's in there. It's easy to use. If you have used if you use any of the simple products, whether it's Slack, Teams, WhatsApp, emails, any of them, you can use HyLyt. It's not a complicated product like what many business products are. We've kept it really simple, intuitive, easy to use. So the idea is
the 6 apps are those 5 on the left plus video. Is that right?
That's right. You got it. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. A video conference is the newest thing we introduced last week. So that's the new one. So which makes it a 6 in 1.
So can I tag anything in there?
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird, but so if inside the app, if we've done a video chat or we've done we were doing this inside HyLyt, I could tag this, and then I could tag a PDF of the transcript of this and all that kind of stuff, and then find it later.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Not only that,
I wouldn't want to do a video chat. Well, not to Facebook, because obviously it would be a private video chat. Is there any reason why I wouldn't want to have a meeting? Why would I want to have a meeting that wasn't private and secured? I guess would be the question.
Yeah. Well, you see, it all depends which options you have today. So every platform gives some things, and some things they are unable to give because depends on how the platforms are built. So when we built our platform, we built it with certain thought processes, so which gives us advantage on certain places. And I just wanted to mention here, if person is already using any other product, HyLyt can work on top of all your products. You don't need to stop using your current products, because that's the first thought. Oh my God, I need to.
So how does that data? If you keep using, say, I am really sporadic. I use Dropbox and I use OneNote and all that different stuff, NP Cloud. So if I'm using that and I'm still using HyLyt, how does that work? How does the data just sync? Do you pull it in? How?
So, like I mentioned earlier, so there are two options. One, like I said, user triggered. So you can any out of all your entire gigabytes of data, or your tens of thousands of pieces of information, you can choose which ones go on HyLyt. You can think of it as a parallel VIP or privileged layer, which is sitting on top of all your other products, which are your foundation.
Which
So
makes it really easy then to share something from, say, my Dropbox or my phone or whatever, secured inside HyLyt with somebody that I might not want to just send them by email. And I know we've talked about this, but the more I think about it, the more I think of different nuances of it. Okay.
So our thought is that it can be your privileged or VIP layer for the information which is most important for you, and for the people who are most important in your organization. So it becomes like a parallel layer on top of all the things which you're doing right now, which you're using today. So either it can be the foundation layer, or it can be the VIP layer on top of what you have today as the foundation layer of products which you're using.
Versatile.
So, yeah.
So what else do you want us to know? I know we're not launching for a few days, so we're going to have probably a lot of questions over the next couple of days on things. What else do you want us to know that we should really be thinking about to ask more questions on?
Okay. Firstly, I love questions. The more questions I hear, the better I like it. So that's one thing. So let's talk about another interesting situation. Now, currently, let's say you have a team and you wanted to schedule, tell them to take care of something. Let's say 10 a.m. EST tomorrow morning, right? How would you tell them? You'd probably send them an email, send them a text, or maybe call up and tell them, right? Those are your only options today.
Right.
Right? Well, on HyLyt,
call them or send them a message.
Yeah, on HyLyt, how about it that you can directly schedule a reminder on their device sitting where you're sitting right now. And they need to do nothing, and the reminder pops up on their screen at the chosen date and time with the required on-screen message and the sound beep.
So I can go in and schedule a meeting, an appointment for a employee, and don't have to worry about that they've remembered it or anything. I can put in a reminder for the day before or something, and then boom, you have to be here.
Absolutely. Or even they need to submit let's say a quotation or a proposal to an important client. They need to have some kind of report ready.
So you could basically use it to do scheduling.
Absolutely.
If you had somebody that scheduled appointments and stuff, they could just put them right in their calendar.
Absolutely.
and distribute that. So, right.
So that's interesting thing. Okay, let me throw you another thing.
Yeah.
So okay, now like we agreed, data only goes up. Now let's say you had to find some old data. Let's say you want to look up PDF files created for, let's say, HyLyt maybe 1 year ago. Okay, so let's say you wanted to find PDF files created in July 2019 for HyLyt, and they were saved somewhere in your computer or your phone or your laptop cloud. How much time do you think it will take you today?
Oh, let's be real honest. I still have some things that I can't find from about 3 months ago, so way too long.
Well, believe me, you're not the only one. 9 out of 10 people have this problem. Okay, now on HyLyt, besides the normal search option, which obviously everybody has and we have as well, we have given a very interesting option of a very advanced search query disguised as a filter with more than 14 different parameters which can work simultaneously. You can use as many or as few as you want. So just to give you an example, let's say you wanted to search PDF files created in July 2019 in the folder HyLyt with the tag Rajat, marked as urgent, received from Jodi. Now,
Wow.
and I
That's
just
pretty
used,
specific.
yeah, I just used 6 parameters. Now, there are
If you
14
find something in that folder, I'd like to know, because I didn't know you last year.
but and
But,
it will take you less than 3 seconds to find information meeting all these parameters, even if you have more than 10,000 pieces of information.
well, basically, you can find it faster than you could search in the parameters, type in the parameters to search for, which literally might have saved me about 3 days worth of time last month.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That's
Yeah,
what
no, I literally lost all the stuff that I had saved for my website when I had to nuke it, so so to speak.
Don't
So
worry.
yeah,
We've been all
it
there
would
once
be very
in our
helpful.
life.
Yeah, that won't
Great.
happen anymore.
Not with HyLyt for sure.
No.
Perfect. So that is that. So, oh yeah, there's one more thing. So
Okay.
let's say your business is spread over and you have multiple collaboration groups or chat groups, as we say, where we have a lot of people talking to each other, and whether it's clients, different locations, vendors, etc. Right? Now, so many times you might want to know what's going on, but today it's not possible. With emails, of course, business companies have a policy. You can do that with emails, but with chats, that's a bit of a challenge, right? So on HyLyt, in the collaboration groups, we've given a feature what we call ghost user. So our collaboration and chat groups can have a user who's essentially an invisible user. No one knows they are there, but they know what's happening in that group. So how that helps is because this can have multiple use cases: safety, moderation, training, preempting problems, or just to have your hands on the pulse of your business, right?
Right. I can see that being quite handy. Well, I understand, which I didn't know before, but I understand. I think we're launching Friday now instead of today. Yep. Okay, there it is. I learned that just now also.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions, you've got a day or two to get them in. I think Rajat will be in the chat some and be glad to answer questions. And I think we're going to talk a little bit more and answer some common questions and go through maybe a product demo on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that Thursday, for sure.
Okay. So,
Great.
okay, great. Well, I think Thursday at 10, and then I will get into this app and play with it, and I'll have more questions for you too.
Sure. So I'll just like to summarize it by saying, on HyLyt, we let you get information from of multiple formats from any source, interconnected on multiple parameters to make it many times more powerful, find it instantly when needed across multiple devices, share it with people internally or externally, control and restrict them from sharing with others, and pull it back when you want to pull it back without any time limits. That's HyLyt for you in a sentence. So that's how we empower people.
Yep, a lot of control for all of those people that are worried about having remote teams, for certain.
Absolutely.
Well,
so
thank you for joining me this morning, and thank you guys for letting me fill in for Andrew while he recovers, and I'll look forward to talking with you Thursday morning.
Look forward
Congratulations
to you.
on HyLyt.
Thank you. So look forward to see you on HyLyt. We like to make you powerful, productive, and profitable.
That sounds excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jodi.
Thank you.